don't know what that noise was.
Happy birthday noise.
It's me, 8-Bit Dylan, and it's my birthday today. We are recording on my birthday, but this should get released the day after my birthday. So,
yes. So you are literally like 42 now. How was
no,
that
girl,
feel?
I just turned 20. Ooh.
You have aged so poorly for 20.
Could you imagine?
Actually, to be fair, I actually think you look like you're like 25 or 6.
I'll take that.
I think
I'm
that's how it
31 for anyone that is watching. I say give it another year or two and I'm going to start looking my age. I can feel it. You know, like you can feel in your bones. Like you can like, or you can like, not literally in your bones. But you like,
no, literally in my bones. I feel I'm fucking
yes,
old.
but like you can like feel when you know you're going to like start aging. I am at that point where it's like, I trimmed my beard yesterday because I found literally an entire patch of gray hair.
I have so many grays and I love it.
In my beard. And I'm only 31. So I was like genuinely shocked at how many grays have started showing up. I'm hoping I can live that salt and pepper fantasy. Give me a salt and pepper fantasy moment for my birthday. That's what I need. Putting that out there in the universe.
I'm gonna ask for that too. Just because I think
just a beard full of salt and pepper.
Yeah. I think it's very attractive. And I'm gonna put it out there. I don't want to do this podcast unless you're attractive looking. I wanted to see what it's like to have the audacity of so many straight cis men who have podcasts and are like, have you seen this shit about this guy going around being like, if my wife has a baby and she doesn't immediately hit the gym and get that body back into shape, I'm leaving her. Like, have you seen that shit?
I haven't, but it's because I curate my spaces, so that's probably why I haven't seen it.
I curate my spaces, which is just a whole bunch of people making fun of those people, being like, what the fuck are you doing? So it's like a whole bunch of like feminist people, which, hey. But I just sit back and I'm like, you know what? The audacity. There's somebody wrote a song on TikTok that goes, stop giving men microphones. It's so good.
It's true. Men, just stop. But welcome everyone to Hot Mess Moments. My name is Dylan Zahner, also known as 8-Bit Dylan online on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that jazz. And Lost is my favorite show, but I've never seen The Nanny before.
And I'm Beth Dixon, also known as Augusta Wind 11 online. And you can find me at Augusta Wind 11 on all my social media, including my Twitch channel. And The Nanny is my all-time favorite show, but I've never seen Lost before. So today we are super excited to bring... This is our second to last episode of covering The Nanny season 2. And so we're bringing 2 more episodes. And this is like, crazy. We had 2 good ones. We had episode 22 and 23. The first one was What the Butler Sang. And then the second one was A Kiss is Just a Kiss.
It was, I was pleasantly surprised at how good these episodes were, but we'll get into breaking them down a little bit. Sup, girl?
Nothing much. You know, I'm kind of excited about the prospect of something. I don't know if it will come true or not. But there is an organization that is, I want to get this correct, so I apologize in advance.
It's called the Dharma Initiative.
Could you imagine? I'm starting this new scientist thing. And it's on this island. No. So it's called Distinguished Concerts International New York. So DCINY. And for those that don't know, I have been a huge choir nerd for a long time, since I was like 10. And I've sang.
We're not shocked with how much you sing on this podcast.
How many songs I've written. I mean,
all of them. Oh, I'm so funny.
I have never done jazz choir though. That was never a thing in my area. So
jazz choir shouldn't exist. That's why.
That is facts. I mean, just do a musical at that point. But I have done those. No, just kidding. What's great is I know Tyler Lyons is listening to this and he's going, "Hey," because he did jazz choir. So
That explains a lot about Tyler. No, I'm
it
just
does.
kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
So, so one of my all-time favorite composers, his name is Eric Whitacre. He writes incredibly like beautiful, like there's a lot of text painting, which is like when you sing a word or a phrase and it's reflected in the music. So if you're saying growing louder and you get louder when you say the word louder, like that kind of stuff. He does a lot of that. He takes a lot of poetry, puts this music with a lot of dissonance and stretched out chords and lots of like things coming together and then resolving. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's what I listen to when I need to relax. And I saw on Facebook, because I follow his page, that he was teaming up with DCI and Y. And he said, if you want to sing, I'm going to put together this I want more singers from New York City. So come join. So I put in to see if I can join, which basically means two things. One, I would get to sing Eric Whitacre music with him conducting, which would be like huge fangirl moment.
Yeah.
Two, I'd be performing at Carnegie Hall.
That'd be sick.
I don't know what this entails.
And 3, I don't know if I can talk to you anymore because that's kind of fucking weird. I'm just kidding.
Could you imagine if you were like, "That this is really exciting for you, but I can't be your friend anymore," and then just like ghost the shit out of me, and like next week, Hot Mess Moments is like Dylan and some random bitch, and he's like, "Here we are. We had to get
I just find some random girl."
Yeah, you're like halfway through the Nanny, and you're like, this is so much better without Beth. Like, that choir bitch went off the deep end.
It's just you in a wig. It's like
it's a cutout of me, and you're just trying to
you're
talk
so
more.
funny, and then I'm like, "You're so funny, Dylan." Like, I just. That'd be fucking dumb. Or I'm just like, I record me talking to like a cutout of you, and then I dub in my own voice, like responding to me. And it just makes editing it so much more difficult.
Poor Josh.com, who you know would be the one who would have to
just hire Josh to edit it.
Josh is like, I think you should probably just, forgive Beth for liking choir stuff and just like,
I'm like, I can't. I love that you think that that's easy, but I love that you think that's an easy journey for me.
Oh God, that's I don't know why that just got me. I really like that.
It's like you really have a hang up about this, don't you? And I'm like, it's not a hang up. It's literally a brick wall. So
it's like it's the same thing as if she was like incredibly racist. I just need to drop.
Kind
her.
of on par with each other. I don't know if you know this.
Oh God.
I don't know. I'm getting like vibes of like that's a very Schitt's Creek thing.
100%.
That's such a Schitt's
That
Creek
is,
thing.
You were so Alexis in that situation. Hardcore.
You know what I was getting a vibe of? The mayor's wife. That's
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn. That was very Jocelyn vibes.
Me?
No, me. Like, I just don't know if I can associate right now. Like, with this.
That's great, Moira. Great. I'm gonna have to ask them. Maybe we spend some time apart thinking about this a little bit more. Like that's the kind of stuff
more.
Like that's the kind of stuff that she would do.
I love Schitt's Creek. Oh.
My friend group, we were having a moment of where we were saying, like, who do we think is which character? Obviously, we were trying to be like very true to who do we think is who. Like, we don't need to make it so that each person in our friend group is a different person, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And everybody without a doubt said, Beth is Moira. And I was like, yeah.
I could see it. If I had to decide a character for you from Schitt's Creek, I would say you are Moira mixed with who's the girl that works at the counter?
Stevie.
Stevie. You are a mix of Moira and Stevie.
I can see that. I can see that.
For sure. Oh my god.
Your husband is 100% Stevie.
Oh, through and through Stevie.
Through and through Stevie.
There's not even a mix of another character. He is just Stevie.
I feel like you do have like some very like pragmatic things occasionally that give me like Eugene Levy's character.
Okay.
But you are also very flamboyant and such. So I
sure.
think that's the Alexis.
I'm the dad and the son.
No, I was going to say, I think you're more Alexis, and you'll be, because like, I think because you're really good at networking and that kind of thing. So like, you'll be like, I'm really excited to game with so-and-so and so-and-so because we have like this whole background. We're like, blah, blah, blah. Like that's like the kind of stuff that I could see coming together. You're just kind of a good mix of, I think, of a few different characters.
I'm just Schitt's Creek, bitch.
But you're not as like shady. You're not as like shady as David or like as cutting as him, but you're not as like prissy as Alexis, and you're much more interesting than.
I like to think I'm shady, and then I meet like actual shady people, and I'm like,
you're shady when it's fun, but you don't. You're not shady to be mean. Like you're not shady as a personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're not a shitty. You're not a shitty person. You just act shitty, Dylan.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, though. Like you put on an act of being shitty.
I definitely do. Like I tell people all the time, there is absolutely a persona I put on when I'm doing stuff, but it is literally just an enhanced version of who I am.
Yeah.
So it's not like I am this dumb as fuck in person, like when I'm talking with normal humans, but I am that to the 10th degree, like when I am like streaming and doing a podcast and doing stuff like that.
Do you know why that is?
It's because I understand the entertainment industry. Because anyone who says that they are themselves, I was like, because anyone who says that they are themselves online is fucking lying.
No.
Yeah.
I'm very different. I have such phone voice. Oh my God. My phone voice, my work personality. I'll sit there. This is me. Hi, Dylan. So good to hear from you today. How are you doing? Can I talk to you a little bit about
mine is a straight voice.
St. Lawrence? Yeah. Yeah. Like this is what I do when I'm talking at work. And that is obviously who I am. I'm such a fucking bitch, and I'm going to turn you down. No.
Yeah, you want to make a donation to my college?
You want to make a donation? You want to take some money out of
you want to fuck me for money?
That is not what I ever did. When people were like, oh, now I know what you mean by solicitations. And I'm like, no.
You like go into your fucking office. It seems like someone like me is a new hire. And you're like, how much money did you get from them? And I'm like, 2,000. Like I was like, $10,
$2,500. Yeah.
I was like, I'm like $200, and they're like, that's it. And you're like, yeah, I fucked him for money, and that's all he had. And he's like, that's not what you're supposed to do.
We have a
I thought I would blow him for the money.
It's so funny. When I got trained to be a fundraiser, they were like, now you have to make sure that like you're very, very professional. Like you can be, down to earth with people or whatever, but like don't flirt with people. Like don't do these things. Like they had to be very explicit about that. But I will say this as somebody who is, when I took this job 7 years ago, which my work anniversary was like a couple weeks ago, which is crazy. I've been at SLU for 7 years. And I'm no longer in a fundraising role.
Yeah.
But when I did fundraising for 6.5 years, the amount of middle-aged men who would be like, I never had an issue. I never had an issue with anybody. They're all wonderful people, but there would be these like little implicit biases of this is a younger woman.
Yeah.
And so there would be questions of, well, let me just email your male boss about this to make sure what you're saying is correct. Like that kind of level of, oh no, sweetheart, let me get the lunch.
You're a dumb whore. Let me just email your boss.
Let me pay for and that's fine. If you want to pay for the lunch, it's fine. But like it would be like when they would go like, oh, sweetheart. And there would be times where I wanted to be like, thank you for paying for lunch. You know that doesn't excuse not giving us a donation, right? Like you don't get to pay for lunch and then not donate. Like it's like Yeah,
It's like,
it's a
oh,
weird thing.
thanks, daddy, you old fat fuck, you
The
stupid
way
fucking
I would have been fired
fucker.
immediately. The
Yeah.
way I would have been fired immediately. But that's the thing. Like, there's just like a lot of implicit biases when you have that, and just like, ooh.
You're just like, oh, fuck me. Oh my God. No, I feel I mean, I don't feel you because obviously I don't know the experience of like a woman in that workforce.
That's right.
But
You
as a
don't, Dylan.
man, I know how people will treat me so different. It is insane. Like when I put on my straight voice and people, it's clear as day at my old job when I was assumed straight. No, but like almost it also kind of works in the opposite where people don't find me entertaining until they find out I'm gay. And then all of a
gay
sudden
people are funny.
Yeah, it's because and then suddenly I'm their favorite person. And I'll be like, I'll like talk like this sometimes. And I like my normal voice. When I get excited, it becomes very gay. But I'm like,
when it gets
just
excited,
bored
you
as
go,
fuck.
and that gives it away.
Yeah. And then everyone's like, oh my God, you scream like Trixie Mattel. And I'm like, no, I scream like a white gay. That's how we all scream.
Let's talk about that very quickly. Trixie is not the first person to develop white gay scream. Like
or this laugh. Like yeah. An ugly cackling witch laugh. No, I love Trixie to death, but
of course,
I remember back in the day, it's the same thing where I used to get compared to like, oh my God, you like Joey Graceffa. Oh my God, you like Tyler Oakley because, oh my God, you're gay. And I'm like,
you're
yes.
generic white gay.
Which no shade to Joey Graceffa or Tyler Oakley. Like they're lovely people.
I'm sorry that you guys were getting compared to Dylan over here.
Sorry about it.
Sorry. That's bad.
Also, oh, wait, I got a story before we get into these episodes.
Tell me.
It's about Tyler Oakley. So,
okay.
Tyler Oakley recently followed me on Twitter.
Oh,
nice. I think it's because of my role at Twitch, but it was a very strange, like, moment for me because I remember at the very start of my YouTube career, I was working at the University of Nebraska at Omaha as like the leader of the LGBT organization on campus. And I had an event hosted on campus where Tyler Oakley came and spoke. And so I was so intimidated having Tyler Oakley at this event because I had just started out doing YouTube. I just started.
Okay.
And he was a very successful YouTuber. And so I had to interview him on stage. I never once brought up my YouTube channel, never once brought up anything. I was like being super professional. And my best friend at the time raises her hand as we're calling on Q&A, and she fucking calls out my YouTube channel in front of everyone. And she's like, oh my God, Dylan, you also do YouTube. That's so crazy. I turned beet red and I'm like, yeah, let's move on from that. And Tyler like made a scene out of it. He's like, oh my God, girl, yeah. And I was just like, oh my God. So then we went and got Taco Bell and in a car on the way back to the airport. And I remember, we
what did he order?
Honestly, I think he got a Crunchwrap Supreme, and I hate that I remember that.
No, I would remember if I was like, oh wow, cool. Like I'm fangirling over somebody. What are they ordering?
Yeah, and it was just a really cool moment, and I thought I had ruined ever getting to know Tyler. I doubt Tyler Oakley remembers this. I doubt he would ever remember me.
Yeah.
But for me, I thought it was really cool to now get to a point in my career where like I can help Tyler Oakley, who Twitch streams now on Twitch.
Yeah.
And it's like so crazy to me how small the world is in that sense.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Next time
so when
he should drive
Twitter,
you to the airport and you should
buy me a fucking Crunchwrap Supreme. No, I think that was great. But let's get into these episodes because they were very good. So it is time for us to cover The Nanny, Season 2, Episodes 22 and 23. The Butler That Sang, and Kiss.
A kiss is just a kiss.
A kiss is just a kiss.
She had style, she had flair, she was there. That's how she became the nanny.
Okay, so I need to talk about these episodes because I'm going to be honest. The first episode wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
I do think Nadine and Fran and Niles were 10 out of 10 this episode. They were like on point. In fact, I think these 2 episodes are the best Niles has ever been. For
Agreed.
both of them. And they're, especially in the second episode, I wouldn't say it was my favorite episode of season 2. It was definitely in the top 3 for season 2 because it is just so well done. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the
it's
first
fine.
episode
It's
first.
fine. It's fine.
I just really want to talk about the second one, but let's talk about the first one first.
slunk in the first one.
Yeah. Like the first one I thought was great. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was really funny. I do think a few of the jokes just didn't land fully, but this episode is absolutely saved by Nadine. She is an icon, and I'm going to be pissed off if we don't get more Nadine in the future. I also don't like that we've never heard about Nadine up until this point. Like, it feels like they just pulled a sister out of the repertoire of family members.
We did hear about her in passing.
We did?
The first few episodes of season 1. So you do hear in the pilot episode when Fran is told to leave when she doesn't get the job, and Max answers the phone. The nanny agency says they can't send anyone out. And he goes, "Do you have any experience with children?" She goes, "Are you kidding? I practically raised my 2 sisters' kids when she was suing her chiropodist."
I didn't even know she had 2 sisters. That's awesome.
No. My sister's 2 kids.
Okay.
So you hear that there are made mentions by Sylvia and her about her sister, but it's always in passing. They never have a moment where they're sitting down and specifically, they never name her as Nadine until this episode. There are little things that you probably aren't paying attention to.
See, I'm actually kind of mad that we haven't got Nadine earlier because I think she's a great character because unlike Val seems very intimidated by Fran.
Yeah.
Nadine matches
is a match.
Yeah, it matches Fran's energy. And I was like, I actually wish we would have gotten more moments of like just Fran and Nadine making Maxwell's life a living hell. I think that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So the first episode is the Butler that sang, and we learn about like Niles' amazing singing ability. And I was pretty close with my prediction. It wasn't a musical, but it was
That's why I said, I was like, actually, there's a lot of elements here that are not too far off. It's like what you were saying describes such a comparatively smaller part
for sure
of the entirety of it. So I was like, I couldn't give you full marks.
And I also really liked how the side plot and the main plot, it felt like 2 main plots, 2
it did.
really big main plots. But again, like Niles' role is much more minimal. But I thought it was really well done how they meshed the 2. And I really liked how we do get a little bit of this like sisterhood between Nadine and Fran.
Mm-hmm.
We also see that Nadine's fashion sense is very similar to Fran's, which I really love and appreciate. And I thought it was just a stellar episode.
What I also appreciate about Nadine's character is while she's in absolutely no way a bigger person, she is bigger than Fran. And so you get those jokes where she's just like, hey, I also have an incredible body. It's a different body from Fran's, but mine's also incredible. I'm like, you better work, bitch.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. And I'm sure that like in real life, Nadine was like a size 8 or 6 or something like that.
What a skank. How dare she? I don't know.
And I think that like Sylvia was a size 8. So I guess Nadine would probably be like a size 6 or something like that. And then Fran is fully like a size 00, like, or maybe not 00. She's like a size 02. Like, it's just so funny to me that like, I love that they have some quote unquote empowering moments of body image, but it's so masked by the insecurity of body image that it like doesn't reach its destination. So like you have these things where she's like, that's where all the fat and like that's where all the flavor is, or like that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, the joke is not supposed to be body, like it's supposed to be a joke and not supposed to be a celebration. Like, and that's where the difference is. And so I'll always continue to point this kind of shit out because as much as I fucking love this show and it's a comfort show, this kind of shit fucked me up for life. And so I will call her.
Yeah. It's definitely like not bringing light to the issue. It's making light of the issue.
Right.
Which I think is like one of the many things. Sorry, I'm saying like a lot, but that is one of the many things that does not age well in this show.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, I want to talk about Niles in this episode
Yeah.
because while I was watching this episode, kept thinking about back to the things that I was saying about Niles at the beginning of season 2. And it's so cool to see the character still fill that specific role, but he's doing so in a way to where we're like pulling back layers and we're learning more about him. We got a little bit of that in season 1 with like the Butlers Association, how serious he takes being a butler. But I really liked that A, we see he's got this musical ability. B, he has bigger aspirations outside of just being a butler, which I really appreciate.
And that's important for his character development moving forward as well.
Absolutely.
Just as an important thing. Yeah.
And we need that. We need someone that is not just the role that they fill. That's what I'm hoping we get from Cece in season 3. I want something outside of just being desperate for Maxwell. Like, she doesn't need a love interest. She just needs another aspiration outside of that.
And I think what's interesting too is that you also have a slight like yes, there's still the cat and mouse game that Niles and Cece play with each other of like making fun of each other. But even that has evolved to the point where like Cece already now has a little bit more agency and kind of gives it back to Niles. And I think that humanizes Niles more to make it more funny. And I also think the other thing too is that what I really appreciate of Lauren Lane's character is in this episode, we saw her already do a chase with Fran last week when she was doing that. But in this one, she gets like even more over dramatic and like quote unquote uglier or whatever. And you're seeing
sponsors or whatever she says. She's like, girl, you are so
you know, to the point where like I actually think this is an example of like her character is funny, but she's done it funnier before. But I appreciate the experimentation more so than I do like, let's just keep it one note always. Like
agreed.
I that's what I like. So even if it kind of falls flat, you can still as an audience member appreciate like Lauren Lane's choices or the writer's choices or whatever the case is.
I think that like that is like fully how I feel about it too. I also really want to talk about a scene when Gracie and Maggie come into the room when Nadine and Fran are fighting. Maggie literally puts her fingers in Gracie's nose, and you can tell the actress is pissed. Like,
it's funny.
She sits there, she's like, "Oh, fuck, that hurt." Like, you could. Like, like, girl, that's not acting. You really got hurt from that.
You really did it. And then meanwhile, when Nadine does it to Fran a second later, it's so obvious that she goes like this. It doesn't even actually put her fingers in the nose at all. She just kind of goes, wah, like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, so it was just so funny to me that I was like, oh, she goes for it.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, they're like really going in. And I really appreciate in this episode, like I said, the sisterhood between the two of them. The only other family beats that we've really gotten from Fran are they'll like use family members as like a comedic tool. Yep. And like while Nadine is used as a comedic tool in this episode, Nadine's also used in a way to show that like Fran really cares about family. She cares about the relationship that Nadine has with her husband. And also it's spurred from jealousy a little bit and
I think that jealousy is also important because we have two really important episodes for the development of Fran and Maxwell together as well, which isn't something we haven't talked about yet. But Fran's jealousy is 100% stemmed from Nadine wanting to go after Maxwell, cooking for Maxwell, appearing in his bedroom at night with a rack of lamb in a nightgown that she also bought with her. Like, there's a lot of the things, and you have this like subtle moment where she says, if she could do it, Nadine would become me. And we also hear that from Nadine's perspective, Sylvia favored Fran. So even though Nadine was the older child, she always felt like she was in Fran's shadows. So when you have someone who is trying to emulate the main character and is going after the character that you think the main character is going to, it's just like, it's a subtle heavy hand in a weird way. Like it's subtle, but it's also very heavy handed as to talking about the relationship between Fran and Maxwell.
Exactly. And I appreciated it a lot. And I think that had this episode not happened before the episode we get next episode would have been very jarring because Fran's attitude in the next episode completely changes from what we get. Like that is the horniest Fran has been for Maxwell in a long, and Maxwell for Fran as well. Very long time. I would say since they openly met. My DoorDash is calling. So
okay, go for it. I'm going to take it away. Okay. So I think one of the other funny things when I think about this this episode in particular is the idea. I mean, it's like a very heavy-handed, clear kind of joke at the end where they keep making fun of like Nadine's husband, like needing it all the time, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You got to give it to him, and it's just all about the food and not about sex. But it's just furthering the whole like family dynamic and the family dynamic to food, which I think is like ridiculously stupid at the end.
Are you talking about the catering?
Yeah, I'm just talking about like the obsession of the Fiennes have with food and like that really just honestly like you could see it a mile coming kind of joke about you got to give it to him every day, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, like blah, blah, blah. But like
I was rolling my eyes.
Yeah, it's so like corny, but like what it does is it's further emphasizing some further character development for the Fiennes, which is that, and we know this about Fran. There's not a scene where she's sitting in the kitchen and she's not eating. Like we know that the Fiennes work out their issues with food, or they're always eating and that kind of thing. Yep. And so that's something that I think you got to kind of keep in mind when you think about the development of certain characters. And the last thing, I think that, it was awkward in the beginning of season 2. And I think we've gotten to a point where in the past 2 episodes where it is still distracting that the kids don't have a super large role anymore. But the whole point is the nanny, not like the kids that the nanny works with, right? Yeah. And the first season was to set up the idea of like Fran being a nanny for the family. The kids are really, at the end of the day, like not main characters. They're people who are there to support Fran as the role and kind of serve as a reminder of what Fran's doing in that household. But I think that they strike the balance a lot better with these 2 episodes than they have been, where like it's not distracting that the kids don't play such a huge role. Like it seemed like there are definitely episodes, and there will continue to be episodes in seasons 3 through 6 where you're like, wow, I'm really happy they brought out Benjamin Salisbury for that one line and then just like made him leave. And that could be distracting. But I do think that what we are now seeing with the physical comedy, like it is absolutely Fran Drescher at this point is the Lucille Ball of the 90s at this point.
For sure. Like, she has concreted that.
She's concreted that, like they're finding out what do people like. Oh, they like this. Will they, won't they? How are we going to do this? They love Cece and Niall. So how are we going to change and invest in those characters? They love Sylvia. They love Yetta. They love hearing about the Fiennes and how it contrasts with the Sheffield house. Like those are the things that work. And when the kids can factor into any of those things, great, but they're not the things that make this show work. So they don't put as much investment in them. And I think they're figuring out the balance better now at the end of season 2.
No, I agree. And I think it's really refreshing to see them finally catch their footing. I just wish they would have gotten it a bit sooner. But for this first episode, I thought it was really, really solid. I'm hoping that Nadine comes back in the future. I would love to see Nadine interact with Sylvia if we can get that in the future. Would love to see that. And I can't wait to talk about episode 2 to see that development of Maxwell and Fran.
So before we do that, what's your outfit of the episode for the first
Yes.
one, and who's your MVP, LVP?
So outfit of the episode is for sure Nadine in her kitchen outfit when she's cooking for Maxwell. I think that's a great
All
outfit.
the various different like leopard print things.
Love it. It was so tacky.
Yep.
Very Nadine. And my MVP is going to go to Niles for chasing his dreams and finally getting the courage to get in front of people and sing and go down that rabbit hole. I think it was great. I think LVP is going to go to it's probably going to go to Nadine, mostly because she took advantage of her sister, like giving her this cool opportunity of like staying in this mansion, you know, recovering from this relationship. And she saw it as a way to flirt with a really rich guy and kind of negate her sister's feelings, which felt kind of icky. And then also like negate everything that was happening in said mansion as Maxwell was trying to work. And it was just like, it was kind of, she's a messy girl, but that's why we love her.
She's messy queen.
And so I'm back. We're talking about season 2. This is about to become a mukbang because I got my birthday dinner here of sushi. So I'm gonna be eating
what do you have for sushi?
Okay, I got too much sushi, but I love having too much sushi.
Here's the thing. So I'm not a sushi person. I'm not a big fish person. I'm not a big like that kind of thing. But I need to hear.
There's this, and
okay.
There's more. There's this for those that are on video. I have no idea what they are, but I'm gonna eat them. I forgot.
I love this. I love this. Okay. So let's start talking about the second episode, which is A Kiss is Just a Kiss, which is the Billy Ray Cyrus kissing contest episode where Fran enters it at Maggie's, Maggie and her go. It was supposed to be for Maggie. It's supposed to be a teen girl kissing contest.
Which is weird.
Which is fucking weird. Like, I do remember shit like that happening in the 90s. Like, and
really?
Yes, I remember people would be like, they would really cater to the fact that they had young girls, right? And that's not just the 90s. I mean, that was done in the 80s, 70s, and 60s, like kissing contests or like dance and let's put you in a music video, like that kind of stuff. Like they would always do things to like
a video girl.
You could be a cam girl in a different way in 2022.
Ooh, that's true. They upgraded, honey.
Now you can make some serious coin doing it too. So, work for yourself. But I think that one of the things that is weird. I don't think that in 2021, I'm going to go on a rampage here. Okay.
Here she goes.
I figured Dylan's eating, so let me let me do that. I'm really, really uncomfortable with shows. Like I'm starting Euphoria and I do really like it, but I really don't like shows that are about teenagers having sex either with each other or with older people. Like I know that the HBO actors are all of age. I still don't need to see them as naked teenagers who are supposed to be 16-year-olds having sex. That is weird.
That's weird. I've never seen Euphoria, so I didn't know that they get naked on camera.
Oh, yeah. It's an HBO show for a reason. Like you're looking at fully naked people having sex, and you have somebody who like, you have like an adult man who's having sex with someone who's lying about their age, and they're saying that they're 22 when they're 17, but like you're still seeing sex. Like that stuff is weird to me.
Jesus.
These are underage characters. In the same way, can we stop? I don't care if it's Disney, Marvel, Harry Potter, whatever. Can we stop smashing or passing underage characters? It's weird to me that people are doing Harry Potter smash or pass, and they're like, Draco smash. I'm like, Draco's a literal minor, and throughout all of these series, like
it's like weird. I can understand if you do like the actor, but like
correct.
Not
if you're doing the actor and saying the actor at this age, sure, but the picture of the actor is still like when they were 13, and that is still a dissonance that's weird to me. And I'm like, if you want to say, let's do a smash or pass, and it's all the adult photos of the actors as they are now, fine. I don't care about that. I have a serious issue with they're like, ugh, I would smash the fuck out of Neville Longbottom. I'm like, Neville Longbottom in that photo was 12. Stop it. Stop it. You are wrong. You should not be talking about that. You should not be smashing any of the, first of all, and like who the fuck wants to smash any of the other characters that are adults?
Oh my God, Neville Longbottom is such a bottom.
I'm like, level Neville Longbottom, when you're talking about him being like, that's the other thing too. People keep like conceptualizing, what if like Gryffindor and like Ravenclaw, all that kind of stuff, what if they were different like sorority houses? I'm like, again, this is not college. So like when you're fetishizing on a sexual way or a drug way or a party way, all these different houses to the level of like consensual adult, like you are considered an adult, you can make these drug decisions, all that stuff. It's weird to me.
A legs or tits kind of guy. Is he
right?
Big
Like
ass?
I don't like that. Maybe I'm me and maybe I'm being a prude. I don't know. I just think it's fucking weird. So all of that said, I think it's a weird thing that the whole premise of this is Billy Ray Cyrus is kissing thousands of teenage girls.
And that he signed on to guest star in the episode, which was weird.
Right?
Like you signed on to be associated with this Billy Ray. Like what?
Put it out there.
That's like weird.
So that's the thing. So yeah, Fran wins it she decides to not go through with it because she doesn't want to hurt Maggie's feelings and hurt herself.
I want to talk about that. So she decides that she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't want to hurt Maggie's feelings. But I'm like, fuck Maggie's feelings. Who gives a shit? If she is not old enough to understand that, like, this is not social suicide. This is a learning lesson, or this is like an educational lesson for her. Now, I think that like Fran, even outside of that, wouldn't have taken this offer because of the fact that she would have had to have traveled across Europe and leave the family and like leave the money. I do think
you don't think she wouldn't have been getting money to do that though?
No, I think she would have, but I feel like she is so comfortable with where she's at and what she's doing right now.
Yeah.
I still don't think she would have taken it. But there's like a lot of like cool things to talk about in this episode. First off, the ageism question that they bring up, where it's like Billy Ray Cyrus only picks Fran because Fran makes him look younger.
Yep.
But he's only having a teenager kissing contest because he wants to, like, he thinks it'll like draw in an audience, a younger audience, but then he realizes it makes him look older when he's kissing someone that looks younger than him. And so I'm like, first off, great shout out to the industry out there and how fucked up it is. Second of all, makes me think of Flavor of Love and Rock of Love because that is literally the epitome of those shows.
I love.
And third of all, what the fuck, Billy Ray Cyrus, you agreed to do this. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's a moment, but like I said, I feel like these kind of weird contests were like a thing. So I don't think it's as
so
far-fetched. I don't know. But all of that said, we get a very Maggie-centric. I just went on this whole rant about the kids not having that much time, but we do get episodes like this. And I think it happens much more with Maggie than any of the other kids moving forward, but you will get some Brighton and such. And
a great Brighton moment.
Yeah, we had a great Brighton moment. And those moments will not be few and far between moving forward.
They are so quick to want to sexualize Brighton or like make him like puberty, not sexualized, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. They're very open about the fact that he is a pubescent teenage boy who is very horny.
Yes.
Yeah.
A see-through skirt. I had no idea.
A shirt.
Oh, it's a shirt? I thought he said skirt.
It was a blouse. They said blouse, and then he goes, a see-through shirt.
Could you imagine if they were selling a see-through skirt?
That's what I was like, bitch, what is he looking at?
You're like,
you can't find that in a fucking Land's End catalog.
I just gotta let the world see my pussy. Hey, it'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that sometimes. No, but like, I do think that this episode was so good because it showed Fran and Maxwell in such a different light than I was used to. Fran acts so strange in this episode. She's much more loosey-goosey with her like feelings for Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
She freely kisses him, but like she said, fuck the work or like the work relationship.
Right.
I'm going in, baby, and I'm kissing. And then she's like,
he baited her though.
Yeah, and then she was
There's
like,
no way you're that
wanna
good of a
fucking
kisser.
talk about it. And then she's like wants to bring it up. She's getting really close to him in the bed, like at the end of the episode, and then teases him because she knows she's not gonna kiss him again. Not like that again.
Oh, she's such a little cock tease. The
I
best
love
thing
it.
about that is like when she kisses him on the chair and he's like all relaxed and like like that, like his cock twitches. I love that I chose to say that when you had a huge bite of sushi in your mouth.
His dick did not move. And you want to know how I know? Because I was looking at that bulge.
I did too. I was watching it too. It did not twitch. I just wanted to say that. I thought it would
Could
be
you
funny.
imagine though if he had like a semi or like a full hard on? Like,
oh God.
he doesn't even hide it.
I'm
he's
so
like,
sorry,
"Oh,
Charles Shaughnessy."
Yeah,
You
I'm
happen to
really
have
sorry,
listened to
Charles Shaughnessy. No, but I think it was really cool to see that development. Honestly, this was softcore porn for me a little bit because like softcore porn, I guess general in porn, they have like those weird lead-ins that lead to sex where they're like, there has to be a reason
Oh my
they
God,
have
my
sex.
fax copier doesn't have paper in it. How do I put a new rim? It's a ream. How do you put a new ream in it?
Put a ream in me. Yeah, stuff like that. Like, oh my God, you don't have a lifeguard, like the girl, the dude in the bathtub. So it's like that level of this where he's like, you're a good kisser. I don't believe it. And she's just like, let me show you.
You've given me no choice. I have to throw you on this chair and then make out with you.
And then the fucking hair flip.
The hair flip.
I was like,
that was the moment.
She's serving sex right now. She is serving sex. She's like, oh.
The best part is this was two separate takes because it happens before the commercial break and then after the commercial break, and they're in a slightly different position after the commercial break, and she whips that hair, and I'm like, you for sure know what the fuck you're doing it.
Oh yeah.
And then she poured that glass of water on her, and she was like grinding on him.
She like started like riding his dick. With clothes on, obviously. This is a
it was
sitcom,
this was some frottage here.
Yes, and then she like got down on her hands and knees. She whipped out a collar, and she's like, "I'm a dog." Like, and then she went,
"Woof woof
woof woof
woof woof."
That's what I was taken out of the episode because I honestly saw Fran more as a cat. Fran was a cat, no, not a dog.
I was taken out of the episode when she did that, and Niles walked in and didn't even say anything about it. Just kind of walked out of the room. What's up? What's up, Dylan? He's pointing in the air. He's got a lot of fish. Your camera's going crazy whenever you're not in the
Okay,
frame.
sorry. Took a big bite.
You're right.
So, also, I'm sorry I'm eating on camera.
It's totally fine.
I thought the sushi would not be here this fast. So, the last episode has this hilarious moment where Niles low-key subtly hints that he wants to be in a foursome with Nadine, Fran, and Maxwell. And I got taken the fuck out. I was like, are you serious right now, Niles?
I don't know if he wants to be in the foursome as much as he's like, can I watch? Can I listen?
He's like, I don't have to go to bed right now. I'm like,
it's not that
Niles!
Late. I love that he first offers like, oh, do you need another pillow, sir?
I'll use my ass cheeks. Like,
and then he throws it back.
He just lays on the bed, bare ass, so they can like lay on his cheeks. I remember that. That was in the deleted scenes.
I don't think I ever really want to use someone's ass as a pillow.
Especially not mine. I have a nice butt. for like a tall
You got a booty.
tall white boy, but it's still bony as fuck.
Girl, mine would be a great pillow.
Oh, I thought you said it would be a great like my ass. It'd be a
much
great.
like my boobage, my ass is like landmass wise. There's a lot there, but there's not just. It's not like, it's not a mountain, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's real estate.
People have long told me if I sat on their lap that they're like, you know what? There's no bone. And I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of cushion here. We're going to make this as nice of an experience for your thighs as they are for me and your bony body that I'm
I wish
sitting in.
I could. I wish I had that. I wish the moment when I sat on someone's lap, they weren't like, ow.
Girl, so here's the thing. Not that I actually want you to sit on my lap, but if you were to sit on my lap, I have so much, like I have most of my fat on my body, on my upper legs. And so there's just like people sit on me like it's not a big deal. I don't.
How often do people sit on you, Beth?
Not often. Not often at all. But when I have had people sit on me like before and they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I have like such a like bony bum. And I'm like, I don't feel it because I've got a lot of layer of cushion between that and my bone. So it feels fine. This is weird. Well, let's move on.
Yeah. No, I want to talk more about your butt. This episode was great though. And I think that the one thing that I want to see going forward is them acknowledging this episode, because it would be weird if in the future they just pretend that they didn't have this like hot makeout sesh on a couch.
And this is the thing. This is the third time they've kissed.
But this is for pleasure. This was not an accident.
Yeah. This one was like, well, you challenged me. I guess I have to do it, which was like, that's not at all how it works. But so this was like the most like, okay, there's not an excuse. The second time when they did the Shakespeare, like really fell into the characters, which is really just like them acknowledging the chemistry between themselves. And the first time was like oh my God, I could kiss you. Mwah! Oh my God, we kissed. What the fuck?
Yeah. And this time it was like, Maxwell in seconds.
And I was just going to say, Maxwell clearly was like, oh, well, far be it for me. Let me take off my glasses and get right in there with that little dirt devil.
When she said that, I lost my shit. Like literally, though, she acts so different in this episode. Like scene to scene. And I understand they needed to shift her character, I think, to give a reason why she'd be so bent out of shape about being called old and then like fawning, like having this guy kind of semi-fawn over you.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I want more of this Fran or more of the Fran we got in the first episode.
I think that's fair.
Maybe a little bit of both. Because I really like horny Fran and I like horny Maxwell. I think that's fun. But I also think that Fran was so out of character this episode that she was less believable in episode 2.
I think an issue that they will run into for the foreseeable future of the show, and maybe even until it's run, is that you do get these like, there will be episodes where Maxwell's like really into it and Fran isn't. And Fran's like really into it and Maxwell isn't. And then they're both really into it, but nothing happens. And like that kind of stuff is like them trying to balance giving the audience a taste of what they want while trying to remain somewhat true, to the characters. And I think that sometimes it is to the detriment, but I'm always still entertained by it anyway. Like I'll watch an episode and be like, where the fuck did this come from? It's totally fine though, because I'm also like, all right, but it was still a good episode. But you know, okay. So what is your favorite like outfit from this episode?
Oh my God, I had it in my brain and I just forgot it. It is, I like the outfit when Fran is going to the kissing contest.
It's the same outfit when she kisses him, and I love it. It's like that tube top with like the mini skirt, and then the jacket over it. I love that one so much. It's so cute.
So cute.
It's so cute.
And then MVP for this episode would probably go to Maxwell because he understood that Fran was suffering because of what happened at the kissing contest and takes it upon himself to not care about his feelings, but care about a friend, a colleague, and a coworker's feelings. And like,
also he wanted that sweet kiss again.
I think he did, but I think his motivation was more so like, oh shit, she got called old. I need to tell her that she's not old and like give her affirmations to make her feel better about herself. Because I think Maxwell's starting to understand Fran's love language, even though they're not like in love. I think he's understanding like what she speaks to, and it's like compliments. Same with how Fran understands how to work Maxwell, which we saw a ton in these 2 episodes where she like manipulates him like crazy.
She can play him like a piano.
It's insane. It's so entertaining too. So I think MVP goes to Maxwell. I think LVP for this episode probably would go to Maggie.
I thought you were going to say Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, fuck yeah. I forgot. Fuck yeah. I forgot Billy Ray was in this. Billy Ray Cyrus. This is a call out. Not you playing Billy Ray Cyrus in the show. You in general, Billy Ray Cyrus. Why would your agent allow you to fucking sign up for this shit? Why? This doesn't paint you in a good light at all.
No. Oh my God.
Makes me think that you're like a fucking weirdo. Obviously, Billy Ray Cyrus, you're not a weirdo. But like this makes you look like a fucking weirdo. And it makes me think like, is this how he always was? Maybe I just wasn't seeing things. But
no.
That very weird choice, sir.
One thing we didn't talk about is that Fran and Max aren't the only people who kiss in this episode.
Oh my God, that's right. Maggie and her boyfriend that'll probably be gone by the end of this episode. And also Cece and Niles, which I thought was a really funny scene.
And
I
also
saw
Maxwell and the boyfriend having that weird moment where he thinks
I loved that.
That was so good.
When I saw that boyfriend's hair, I was like, they better do something with this because this is ridiculous. This boy's hair. Oh my God.
Boy, did they do something with it.
They really did. But I thought it was really funny how they incorporated like all of these like silly little gags, especially with the kissing. The Cece and Niles one I saw from like a mile away that it was coming.
Yeah,
but
you literally went, oh no.
Yeah, I said, oh God. But I love the delivery afterwards where he's just like cleaning his mouth, gargling the tea, and then she's just like over his antics. She's just like, oh my God, like fucking grow up.
Well, she sat there like this, even when Maxwell was still talking to her. It's like she was like frozen. And he just like doesn't even pay attention to the fact that she looks absolutely freaked out, just like
she's mortified.
Yep.
I love it. So what are the episode titles for next week?
So next week we are doing 3 episodes to finish out season 2, one of which is the spinoff. So the first one is Strange Bedfellows.
Okay. Strange Bedfellows. Hear me out. So
I'm going to say this. Not that there's like a huge lore episode. Next episode.
That kind of factors into my theory.
That's why I wanted to say that.
So my theory, this is a weird one. There is plumbing issues in the mansion to the point where it like floods in the mansion, like where they're living. So everyone has to leave the mansion and stay in hotels until it's fixed. So Maxwell's paired with like Niles. Fran is paired with Cece because maybe something's wrong with Cece. There's just like weird pairings in these hotel rooms. Everyone doesn't get their own rooms. And in the entire episode, we learn a lot more about Cece. We learn because like Fran and Cece have a moment. We learn a lot more about Niles and Maxwell's relationship growing up because they are staying in the same bed. It's a single bed, so they have to like sleep in the same bed. There's like really funny moments there. And then we also learn maybe more about like Fran and her relationship with her family. I don't know.
That is so far from anything that happens in the series. So I will say no to that one.
That's actually that's actually in season 8.
Yeah, it's in season 8.
Yeah, that happens.
Which will come out in 6 years.
Yes.
So yeah, the first one is called Strange Bedfellows. There's a lot. It's a great episode. There's a lot that happens.
Okay.
The second episode we're going to watch is the spinoff that you've been so excited to watch.
I'm so hyped.
I hate it so much. It's like my least favorite episode of the series.
Is it related to the Nanny in any way, shape, or form?
Yes. You are going to, I'll spill this. You're going to see Sylvia and Fran and that kind of thing.
I already had an idea. for what this is.
It's called The Chatterbox.
Okay. So here is the spinoff. It's about one of Fran's family members. And it's exploring the super Jersey, super Jewish. Did I say
you gotta stop with the fucking Jersey bitch.
Super Queens, super
Listen,
Jewish.
it's all bridge and tunnel, but still. Do you know what that means, bridge and tunnel?
No.
So bridge and tunnel is a phrase.
I was about to pretend that I did, but no.
I saw that too. You went, no. Like you were gonna say, yeah. Bridge and tunnel was it's seen as kind of an insult or whatever, but it's a way to describe people who have to take bridges and tunnels into Manhattan, into New York City. And like basically it's a classism thing. It's a thing where like, oh, the people who are bridge and tunnel are gonna be like your people who are gonna be wearing animal print and big hair and all that kind of stuff. Or the people who can't afford to live in Manhattan, like that kind of thing, right? So there's like a certain appeal to it. So on the one hand, how dare you? But on the other hand, bridge and tunnel.
That's so funny. Yeah, I think it's going to be about a Fran's family member. It's going to be setting up for probably like a cousin or something and seeing their family. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this.
Okay. It's not it, but most of the characters are people that you've never heard of or seen before. So this is okay.
Interesting.
And then the season 2 finale is called Fran Gets Mugged.
All right.
I know this is going to be really hard to figure out what happens.
I'm going to assume Fran gets mugged.
How the fuck did you figure that out?
And I think she is going to expect, this is a classism episode. So she is going to expect Maxwell to help her out. And he is not going to help her out. And it makes her judge him super hardcore because he does not put himself on the line to help Fran and to like help her out financially or anything like that. Because he didn't get mugged, so it's not his problem.
No, there is a Fran versus Maxwell thing, but that's not it.
Okay. Interesting.
It's an interesting one. To me, I always get surprised that this is a finale episode because it doesn't feel like a finale episode. It's my biggest criticism of it. Versus last season, we had this beautiful Mother's Day episode that I was like, I can see that being like a finale episode if they didn't know if this was going to happen. This, I don't know why this is a finale episode, to be perfectly
I'm intrigued. I'm very excited to see.
I think Strange Bedfellows should be the finale episode, to be honest with you.
Ooh, okay.
I'm saying that right here.
I'm excited to talk about it and see our thoughts and feelings about that. But thank you all so much for watching this episode of Hot Mess Moments. We are going to be back on Thursday covering 2 amazing episodes of Lost.
I've been edged enough. I need to know what the fuck the fallout was from Lost.
Oh my God, you are not ready. You are not ready. I mean,
No,
now
I
that you got
am ready.
spoiled.
No, I
No,
am ready. I'm ready. Don't tell
It's
me I'm not.
amazing. It's amazing. But we got 2 more episodes of Lost that we're going to be covering, and then we are going to be back next week on Tuesday with the season 2 finale and 2 more episodes of The Nanny. So for a super packed Tuesday episode next week. Thank you all so much. My name's 8 Dylan. You can find me at 8 Dylan online. If you want to talk about Lost stuff, I'm here for you.
And I'm at Augusta Window 11 online. If you want to talk about the nanny stuff, you can find me there. Be sure to follow at Hot Mess Moments on Twitter so you can keep up to date with all of the times that our lovely episodes are coming out and wonderful commentary. Happy birthday to Dylan once again. I hope
Sorry
you
I
have a
ate
wonderful
during
year.
this episode. Sorry.
Oh, you need to celebrate. You need to celebrate. Get that sushi and get that birthday life going.
I
Sorry
just
we
didn't
had to
want it to
record on
spoil.
your birthday.
No, I chose this. My husband called me out too. He was just like, Dylan took a half day at work to then proceed to do more work.
Yeah,
That was just
seriously.
I don't know
But
what relaxation
looking forward
means.
to it. Please leave your ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts if you're listening to us there. It helps us to be seen. And subscribe to our Hot Mess Moments YouTube page and click that like button, make a comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff.
That's right, baby. We're giving you content for free.
Free
So
content that's so
gotta check
hot
it
and
out.
so messy, but such a moment.
You were waiting for it because you didn't get to do it at the
I
beginning.
didn't get to do in the beginning. I'm so mad.
All right. Well, we will see you. You're so silly. We will see you on Thursday. And until then, stay awesome, stay beautiful, you lovely people. Bye.
Bye.